Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Chat Noir has too many heroes. Actually, that feels wrong to say. Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Chat Noir has a moderate number of heroes and a bunch of NPCs with superpowers. Yeah, that's better. I want to make a video rewriting Miraculous's power system. But if I do that, it's going to have a whole tangent about why I think so many of the current holders for Miraculous suck. And I think that just deserves its own video. This is that video. Plus, if I included this section, it would start to approach the length of the 30 minutes Ask Uchiha analysis I just did, and I'm not doing that again so soon. You see, being a Miraculous holder used to be kind of special. At least before Marinette started handing them out like candy. Some fanfictions will claim that there needs to be some sort of special connection between the Kwami and the user, and that it requires a certain kind of person to really use a Miraculous to their full potential, but not really. Have you seen the number of times people swap Miraculous on this show? At this point, there really is nothing special about being able to use a Miraculous. But back on topic. If that was true, based on how their Miraculous are placed, Marinette and Adrien should never be able to switch Miraculous. And Marinette definitely shouldn't be able to use both. But they can, and she can. And of course, because the show can't help itself, Marinette just has a much easier time learning and mastering how to use the cat Miraculous, while Adrien struggles with the Ladybug and she has to explain it to him as if he doesn't watch her use it all the time. But you see, all of that is more of a world building issue. This video is specifically about a character problem. It feels like Marinette has to give Miraculous to people suitable to use them, and more like if you're one of her classmates who isn't mean to her, you'll get one eventually. Hell, Sabrina got one because the story doesn't really think of her as a character who chooses to be mean. I swear if I cared, I could probably make a whole video about how the show does not care about this character at all. This all connects back to my initial point, the NPC heroes, or as I sometimes call them, Ladybug's Pokemon. These are the characters that, at best, have one episode to establish some characterization in how they're heroes, but beyond that, the story really has nothing to offer them, and that's if they're lucky. Like, Marinette's classmates have characters, but those are usually only relevant in their civilian forms and have no effect on them being heroes. Tell me one thing about Nathaniel we only learn because he's a superhero. And there are levels to this. On the bottom, we have characters like Mark and Sabrina, whose superhero persona add literally nothing to their characterization. We can act like it does for Sabrina, but she just goes back to being Chloe's lapdog for a whole other season. These guys are only heroes to bring the set full circle in the penultimate episode. That way we can be more familiar with all the Miraculous and what they do before Hawkmoth steals them. Then, a tier above that are characters like Juleka and Rose, who each get one episode where being a temporary holder of a Miraculous adds to their characterization. They're introductory ones. Rose's interaction with Juleka is short, but it's still like top 5 best holder Kwami dynamics in the whole show. The thing is, beyond their place in the mishandled season 4 Chat Noir arc, link in the card, many holders don't actually contribute anything to the story beyond being vessels for their superpowers, often in situations where they are clearly not necessary but are included for the sake of the plot. I dare anyone to explain to me why Ryuko, Polymouse, King Monkey and Purple Tigress were necessary to take down goddamn Roger Corp. And were they all just standing around really close to where the Akuma attack happened so Ladybug could find and recruit specifically them before Adrien even noticed that there was an akumatization going on? It's made even worse when you realize that combining Miraculous is a thing. And with no limits on whether or not the power fits a character, Chat and Ladybug should rarely ever need anyone else. And outside of their introductory episodes, these guys stop being characters so much as they just become extensions of whatever Ladybug wants them to do. So if they barely get any characterization as heroes, they aren't really necessary for the use of their powers, they eat screen time, and their personalities don't really contribute to the story as it's going on, why do most of them even exist? I will now list every character whose role as an extra hero actually adds to the story. The list is longer than you might imagine. First, Alia. Giving the journalist the Miraculous of Illusions is so obviously brilliant, it's kind of a no-brainer. Sure, it would help if Trix was actually a trickster to contrast Alia's personality, but that's something for the other video I'm working on. As Alia becomes Marinette's confidant and then a secret hero, it's undeniable that becoming a holder has had a net positive for her characterization. Second, Chloe, pre-season 3 finale. In fact, even after the season 3 finale. Yes, this is the obvious one. The simple fact of being a bully on the road to redemption who still acts like kind of a brat when they are doing hero stuff with a publicly known identity just has so much to impact. And I don't even need to give you a hypothetical of what that looks like, just watch Miraculous. She becomes the first person to resist being akumatized when Hawkmoth tries to take advantage of her emotional turmoil, then she resists Mayura's attempt to tempt her, and helps fight her akumatized friend.
But I'm sure that you'll need me again, Ladybug. I know that I'll be Queen Bee again someday. I will always be Queen Bee.
Well, she wasn't wrong. Her replacement goes by Vesperia. And the funny thing is, even Chloe's failed redemption still puts her above almost every other character in this regard. Sure, I have issues with its execution, several in fact, but it's still an interesting direction to take a temporary hero that can only be done because the character is a hero. Whether or not they actually did anything interesting with that idea is, well, I'll let you decide. Third, Felix. I'm sorry, but simply being a holder that both Ladybug and Hawkmoth don't like and that doesn't like either of them instantly makes him so much more interesting, especially when you think about the other heroes. Sure, his actual writing is all over the place, and he kind of gets ruined in season 5, but I don't care. I'll take an inconsistent wildcard anti-villain over a dozen NPCs. So it sucks that it looks like he might become one after season 5. I am working on a Felix video, don't you worry. Alex. Not much characterization, but her story as the hero that exists through time and basically acts as a warning system for when the timeline is in crisis is interesting enough to get a pass from me. I have issues with the execution of her current self getting the role, but that's hardly new. And all those positives are kind of balanced by the fact that this show has shown that it kind of can't handle time travel as a mechanic outside of something like the Snake Miraculous. Luca. He should be higher on this list. I'm pretty sure he's the third character Miraculous fans will point to immediately as an example of wasted potential. Him being a sort of guru of the group and the only non-Kwame who knows both Ladybug and Chat Noir's identities has serious potential that was left completely unexplored. And no, the season 5 finale doesn't count. What even was that? What was he doing off screen exactly? I wish I could put Kagami, Nino, and Julika on this list, but I don't think I can. Kagami is my favorite character, but that rarely translates to Ryuko outside of the first episode she appears in, like so many other heroes. Nino, well, all his role as Carapace has been is a lesser version of the pre-secret Renard Rouge. Even his constant fuck-ups with their secret identities barely amount to anything ever. I just like Julika and Roar. Sue me. Everyone else could swap Miraculous with random Parisians and there would be a near zero effect on the story. But when I look at characters like Purple Tigress and Pigella, they make me think that they should have been purely one-time deals. Because when the heroes get focus episodes, it's not bad. But then the show seems to have nothing else to do with them, and I'm forced to wonder if their one-time focus episodes were worth it. Because Miraculous does not have it in it to be an ensemble show. It struggles with taking the camera off Ladybug long enough to notice Chat Noir. In the episode where Chat had to work with Scarabella, Marinette was still the one who saved them from the bad guy, even though she was literally imprisoned. And that makes the decision to make all the extra holders permanent holders so baffling. Unless there are going to be some serious changes as to how these characters and the conflicts are written, they are just going to be a serious drag on the show. And I guess we really do not care that several of them have had their identities revealed before. Funny, you would think that would be like a huge issue, but it evidently isn't. Every season of this show that passes by makes me believe more and more that the reason Marinette didn't want Chloe to keep being Queen Bee is either that she didn't like her or she didn't think she was going to be a good enough person to be a hero. And honestly, I would respect her so much more if she just admitted it. You realize the show now has no excuse for Ladybug and Chat Noir to not reveal their identities to each other. Hawkmoth's been defeated, they don't know if there's gonna be a new villain, and now the idea that they have to keep each other's identities a secret to protect themselves from the villain kind of goes out the window when they are like a dozen heroes who Ladybug knows the identity of. Like, can someone tell me why the first scene of the next season shouldn't be them revealing their identities to each other? But that's my thesis statement for how it's a problem that this show has so many heroes. Next up, rewriting the show's power system. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Also comment your thoughts on this video and hit the like button. Thank you and good day.